I have proof my 28 female husband, 30 male, has been having an affair with a mutual friend, 32 female. Do I confront them or shall I just file for divorce quietly? It was recommended I also post this here, so here it goes. My 28F husband, 30M, has been having an affair with our friend Emma, 32F. I've suspected something was off ever since lockdown began, but last week, I finally found proof. Before lockdown began, my husband was working increasingly longer hours and was becoming increasingly more distant. We barely saw each other because he would wake up before I did and not come home until after I was already asleep. On the weekends he would go out with friends. When I asked to come, he always shot it down, saying they were doing things I wouldn't enjoy. Then lockdown began and he had to work from home, and I finally started to notice how nasty he had become to me. He was constantly criticizing everything I did. His favorite meal wasn't cooked right. The shows I watched were annoying. I took too long in the shower. I wore grandma clothes. I never asked him how his day was. It was endless criticism. We've had a dead bedroom ever since his hours started to increase, but I thought it would change now that we were home all day every day. It didn't. Whenever I tried to initiate, he would turn me down with a disgusted look or a rude remark. I finally snapped and told him I couldn't live like this anymore. If there was something wrong, he either had to tell me now or we should separate, because I wasn't prepared to live like this. He started crying and apologizing and said he was sorry, that the pandemic was getting to him, that he would try to be better. That night, we were intimate for the first time in 8 months. After, he couldn't even look at me and he had such a guilty look on his face. He couldn't even make eye contact with me. He started avoiding me and hiding in his office. This is when I started suspecting there was someone else. Edit. This was 8-ish weeks ago. I ended up finally snooping last week when he went to sleep. My husband is a heavy sleeper, so it was easy to use his fingerprint to unlock his phone. I found thousands of texts and emails between them. There was sexting and nudes from her. On the day we had been intimate, my husband had sent Emma a message telling her he couldn't do this anymore, that he didn't know what had overcome him, but he regretted everything that happened between them and he was going to work on his marriage. He asked her not to contact him or me again. Emma sent him messages threatening to expose their affair to me. She claimed he was the love of her life and she couldn't live without him. My husband responded once to tell her I already knew everything so she could tell me if she wanted to. I didn't. I took screenshots of everything and sent the proof to myself. I've been pretending everything is okay for the past week, whilst inside I feel like my heart has shattered into a million pieces. My husband has slowly started spending less time in his office, but the guilty look is still glued to his face. I never thought he could do this to me, especially not with someone who is supposed to be my friend. A part of me is so angry and I just want to scream and rage at them both. The more sensible part of me knows it won't be worth it and it'll just give Emma the satisfaction she clearly wants. To make things more complicated, I just found out I'm pregnant. My husband doesn't know yet. The B-star didn't even have the decency to wear a condom when he knew he was cheating. Is a confrontation even worth it? Shall I just file for divorce and get it over and done with? TL, doctor, I found incriminating texts, emails on my husband's phone confirming he was having an affair with our mutual friend. He's ended the affair but has yet to confess. Shall I confront them or end things? Talk to an attorney before doing anything. Get your stuff in order. Investigate secretly and don't say anything yet. When the divorce papers are ready, let him be served. I wouldn't even mention the pregnancy until I was unable to hide it any longer. I'm so sorry you're going through this. My ex-husband cheated on me and I found out when I was pregnant with our second child. It hurt. I tried to stay and make it work, but he proves to be unwilling to change. He continued to cheat for years. I wish I would have just divorced him then. Please talk to an attorney first. In my state, adultery is still illegal, but you need proof. I used my proof of adultery to convince my ex to do an uncontested divorce, which got me a better settlement. Gather copies of all the texts, emails, photos etc. first, as well as copies of all bank statements, credit card bills, 401k statements, etc. If one person consent is legal in your state, I would record any conversations or confrontation you have with your spouse when you are ready. Your spouse may be getting ready to leave first, so it is very important that you take steps to protect yourself both emotionally and financially. Stay or go. There's a lot of fighting and trust issues for the person cheated on. Do you want him holding your hand or not? Will he still be there in a week is another big question. It takes 2 to 5 years to heal post-affair and it's effort, but so is divorce. Separating lives is not easy. Sadly, you have to pick your hard work. Well, note up that you don't have to finish the divorce. But filing is an excellent way to bring the gravity of the situation home. Since he already broke it off, shock and awe is perhaps not necessary, but on the other hand, the break-off might be a temporary thing. In situations where that happens, serving papers can help make it permanent by showing you're not a doormat. BTW, unintentional side effect, because Emma threatened to tell, if you serve him papers he will assume she's the one who told you. And then she'll deny it. That could possibly cause quite a rift. Very true. Having a solicitor on speed dial in possession of the evidence is also a good option, minus the paperwork that prepares for the paperwork. Not trying to be insensitive, but, are you going to keep the baby? This just ties you with him for 18 more years. You need funds, take half, if you have any to take. Plan where you're going to go. See a lawyer. Then decide what to do next. Plan with your head and not with your emotions. You must first decide what you are going to do and have your preparations in place before you confront him. If you believe you can get past this with him, then you need to know what he is going to have to do to make reconciliation a possibility. He broke your marriage and it is up to him to do the heavy lifting. That includes individual counseling for him to find out what is going on with him. That is a must before you bother with joint marriage counseling. There can be no further contact with Emma, and if she has a so, then that person has the right to know about this as well. First and foremost, whatever you do, remember you are making decisions for two now. Take care of your health. I would not play any games. 8 months of cheating and who knows so many of lying. I couldn't do it. No way could I stay. He's still lying and will probably continue as long as he can. I'm sorry this happened to you. I'm so sorry you are going through this world-crumbling heartbreak. Just my 2 cents, confront him. Not for his benefit, but for yours. I had similar feelings when I discovered my WH's affair. I debated going to the courthouse the next day to file and have him find out when he was served with the papers. But I chose to confront him, and we had many much-needed conversations that should have happened a lot earlier. I ultimately decided to reconcile. We are still early into it, and who knows, maybe I made a horrible mistake. But I followed what I felt was right, and I will not doubt my decision whatever happens in the future. Good luck. I hope you have someone in your life you can open up to about this. Just leave and ghost them both. They know what they've done. There is no need for an emotional confrontation if you don't want it. Take all the proof to your lawyer, block them both, everywhere. Once the divorce is done, with them still blocked, post all the screenshots on social media for friends to see so they understand whatever story the two of them make up is BS. Just file for divorce. He knows what he did, as does your friend. Let them wallow alone together, karma will catch up eventually. Thanks for listening so far. If story have an update, we will post here. Like, subscribe to our channel for upcoming stories.